So, thank you for coming, everybody. You can come in closer. I don't bite. Thank you. You can bring in the chairs in closer. Okay, thank you for coming. My name is Darshini. We're going to go very, very fast. Whoever hasn't attended a lecture of mine, you know, stop me if you don't understand anything, if you can stop me, because I do very fast. First of all, I'm going to give you who wants to grow, not this way, don't worry, not that way, but basically on a spiritual level in less than a minute. I'm going to show you. And this is, I teach 86 classes and 86 classes and 85 of them, exactly, that was what I meant. 85 of them is based on visualization, how powerful our mind is. Okay, so who here is left-handed? Anybody? Okay, all lefties? Yeah, you're left-handed. You'll concentrate on your middle finger on your left hand. Everybody else, I'll do it first. You don't need to get up yet. Everybody else, concentrate on your middle finger on your right hand. Okay? So, ready? You're going to do this too. All right? So put the coffee down or whatever quietly. Hi, come on in. We're going to do a quick exercise that's going to help you visualize. Hi. Are you right-handed or left-handed? Right. Right. Good. So concentrate on your middle finger on the right hand. I'm going to do it quickly first. So what you're going to do is stay in one place, and you're going to twist, looking at your right hand or your left if you're a lefty, but looking at your right hand as far as you can go. Do not hurt your back. Mark how far you've gone. Come back and drop your hands. You've got a lot of space. Come on in. Quickly. No, you have to stand up. You can't. No cheating. I know you can't. Come on, no laziness. All right? Put your arms up. And then go right if you're right. Go left if you're left. And see how far. No, don't move your feet. Benedict. Okay. Right? You're left. You go left. See how far you've gone. Come back. And mark it after that. Come back, drop your arms. Okay? Now, everybody, close your eyes. Do not do it physically. I want you to close your eyes, and in your head, even though you may not see it, visualize yourself going all the way around. So close your eyes, visualize yourself going all the way around. Don't visualize any pain. I'll come over and hit you on your head. All right? And then open your eyes after you've gone all the way around and all the way back in your head. Go ahead. Okay, don't fall asleep, please. Try not to. Okay, then everybody awake? Yeah. Good. Now what you want to do is to do it again physically and see where you've landed.
Oh.
No way! You didn't go further because I'll come and nicely smash it. See? Okay, sit down. So I got your attention. In less than 30 seconds, you just visualize yourself far ahead than your possibilities. All right? So all my classes, which I teach all over the place, and by the way, we're sending out a book around. There's a flyer in there too if you want it, but it's an email if you want to be. Most of what I'm going to be doing, and this probably will be on the predictions on my YouTube. I've got about 221, and I hate to say it, a lot of it has been coming through. Even today, I'm afraid 89 tornadoes, no, 89 people injured as of 7 o'clock when I got up. 5 people passed away in a tornado, another one. And I did predict all these devastations 2 years ago. Earlier this year, I did it. There are going to be far more F5s and F4s this year. In this Midwest, and there are a lot of people saying, oh, you know, tell me if I can go on vacation. Well, I'm not going to be doing that on YouTube. I'll be there all day. But basically, the weather changes I predicted last year were higher heat indexes, far higher. Guess what? We're going even higher than that this year, later on. All those predictions, unfortunately, are coming true. Even the late snow in May, I said, which everybody thought I was crazy. I can't remember when I said that, but I did tell them. And until Memorial Day, we had snow in the East Coast. So we are experiencing weather patterns, and I am doing a book. It's called The Epoch Succession. Hopefully it will be out. No, it's not ready yet. It's about this big now. Sorry, talking too much. I'm trying to close that down, so I will do it. just quickly, who here knows, I know a few of my students, clients are here, but who knows what a claircognitive is? Anybody? Anybody? Like Ferris Bueller. Okay, all right, clairvoyant. Clairvoyant receives pictures, messages through pictures. A clairsentient receives messages through, clairvoyance pictures, clairsentient through feeling. I feel that sometimes you can be stubborn. Is that true? Absolutely. When you wanted something in your mind, by the way, they're all lined up. The mafia mothers will start coming in with their messages. Grandmothers more than mothers, but anyway, but basically, yeah, you need to be a bit kinder to yourself, though. You drive yourself too harshly. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. So they said back off. Really have some time. Okay. Now getting back. So clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudio is when you hear messages. A psychic, for me, I really feel is more the future. A medium communicates with people on the other side. So I'm all of that, plus I get it in taste and smell. That's the only time, and a few people who have heard me either on the radio or in person or through, doing a reading, which I'm doing readings downstairs, but usually that's the only time I'll hesitate, because I am actually having to change the energy and convert it into words and then give it to you. So that's the only time I hesitate. Okay, so back to the predictions. We've got quite a bit, and of course they're interrupting me now. Does this young lady here, is she sometimes a bit too intense with things? Yeah. She doesn't know how to enjoy herself, right? Yeah. And she's got two good friends, is that true? Very good friends. But you feel as if actually she's trying to be very protective of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a bit too much so.
Yeah.
And has your grandmother passed on your mother's side? Yours?
No, she's still here.
Your great-grandmother?
Yes, my great-grandmother. Yeah.
Was she kind of, quite a character is a good word.
Yes.
Yeah, she is your guide, and she's saying you need to relax and have some fun this summer, because this is just the start. She's getting very emotional and sad that you're not enjoying. Your mother's going to be fantastic. Actually, after November, she's going to have a great time. Cool. But you need to stop playing mother now. You're such a beautiful soul, and she's got her destiny. Sorry, they just interrupt.
No, I love it. Thank you.
It helps, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, what we're going on predictions. Yes, the weather is changing, and in the book, what I'll try and do, I hate these books, and I don't know about you here, but who here hates books when they say, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, but they don't give you any kind of exercise or information to counteract it, right? So the book is actually going to give you exercises to help and counteract as well. And that'll be probably on a DVD. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you, sweetheart.
No, it was a beautiful message.
They love you.
Thank you.
You are so loved. You've got a lot of guides around you. Okay, Donnie? It's okay. I didn't mean to
No.
Okay. So anyway, so basically, sorry, they tend to invade here. So interrupt me with any questions, but we are actually going to have, I'm afraid again, last time, earthquakes. We are seeing a bit more on the increase. Don't worry, not so much here. It's more really LA upwards, and I hate to say it, near Seattle. And we are experiencing like, wasn't there a 4.8 recently, just off the coast of Santa Barbara? And actually more outside, just not Long Beach, but more in the coast, which is what I told. I will be emailing anybody on the list here all the links for the 2013, what do you call it, 2013 predictions. But also, unfortunately, on 12/21, I was on the radio again. He just changed because he's on TV now, so he doesn't want to do radio. But anyway, I was on the radio for 2 weeks, and on that one, I did predict, unfortunately, and I did waver a bit because I said there was going to be a lot more shootings, and unfortunately, the next day, within 48 hours, 4 different shootings happened, other than Newtown. Yeah. It is because it's just like a dis-ease. Things are going to be ramping up where they feel, who here has been feeling far more anger than they've ever felt before, and then usually they're mellow. Who's feeling angry without being, anybody? Come on, it's anonymous, don't worry, your back's against the camera, your family won't know, but unreasonable anger, as if you don't know why. Who here has been far more emotional? Not that they see a kitten on the TV, but they're suddenly being very, yeah, right? A bit more emotional.
More anxious.
Anxious. Yeah, but also tight. You know what I mean by tight? More concerned, but for no reason at all. They are, who here, and the logics, I split them into logics and actually emotionals. The emotionals are usually clairsentients, and the emotionals are people who are really do see, I mean, kittens on TV and they're crying all the time, or they're getting more upset, or they're usually more empathic anyway. You see things about your friends. Sometimes they don't like to hear the truth, some of your friends. Is that true, when you give advice? And it kind of hurts you, because you do see that what is going to be an outcome for their lives. Is that true? Yeah. So anyway, but basically it's, that's going to increase, I'm afraid. And what I put in the book, and what I honestly believe, is to do with a shift of energy where everything's energy. How I read you, by the way, I don't go through angels or guides or anything like that. I am totally different. I go through dimensions. Who feels there's only 3 dimensions in existence? Good. I was going to have a little talk with you if you do. It's far more, and that's what I do. I literally go backwards, forwards. Whenever you get a reading, and if you're new to me, I will go backwards, whether you like it or not. Don't even bother to come to me. I'm brutally honest, not mean, right? But I'm brutally honest. That's how I was raised. But in other words, you'll hear what you're meant to hear. And going backward actually serves you, because you don't know if I'm telling you the truth or not, right? So going backwards, every single time that I bring up is usually, why they're bringing it up in your first reading is because it's anchored to you in your past. So you're either co-created behavior in your past, or you're anchored in the past, and that's why it's actually being brought up in your reading to clear. It's a gift. Okay, and then we move forward, but usually everything is addressed in a reading, mostly. Okay, so we've got, who here has been experiencing, let's see, there's so much. What I call phase 5. We're still in phase 5. It started earlier this year. It hopefully will end in July. It was meant to end in June, but with energy, it doesn't have a confined box, you understand? So with energy, you're going to see that it may extend to maybe even as the last day of July. It was meant to end on July 26th, but I think it's extending. And it depends on the consciousness of the earth. I know it sounds a bit woo-woo, but it's true. Who here has been having a few more, who's had car accidents? Anybody? Yeah, I know me too. And then who here has been having computer crashes or electrical problems, weird electrical problems? Who here has been seeing a bit more activity, if you know what I mean, when I'm talking about activity in their house, right? And that's going to get even worse, because the energy is far more vibrant, and there are some exercises. You have to email me, but I will send you, it's one class I teach, it's called Psychic Protection, but I will give you a quick exercise that you can make sure you're safe. And I think it's because your daughter, she's so clairvoyant. Yeah. Basically, who has, it's really like even lawyers and any kind of legal problems, anybody? So it's usually this cycle, and it's usually far more people, but I can see why some people don't want to raise their hands. But it's like as if a lot of crushed problems. So what phase 5 is to do with, and who's here also being sleepy, tired, kind of drugged out, right? That's too much TV. But it's really drugged out and really sluggish, right? And it's not oh gosh, I need some vitamin B12 or something. No, it's really to do with the cycle we're in. Who here, by the way, and this usually gets a response, who here has been having this urge to go and clean the closets? And clean the cupboards, and clean everything. Yeah? Well, guess what? That's part of this phase 5. And what this whole phase 5 period is about is cleansing and clearing. So what I would really advocate you do is to please, and anybody out there who's going to see this video, is to literally make a list of even relationships that you feel that are still hanging on, that have closed a long time ago, but for some reason, and who's been thinking about the past a lot? Yes, you're all in phase 5, because that is exactly what's going on. You're really trying to address any issues or any things that are in the past that you need to move on from. And it's not frustration, it's actually freeing. But you're cutting the anchors, you're slipping it. There's a class called Mirror Mirror, which I'll be teaching in the Philosophical Library in about 2 weeks. And Mirror Mirror is actually the most powerful class in all 86 classes I teach, where you actually, I take you backwards to, I mention ages, but it's usually only the people who attend. And you're literally a voyeur of your past. At the age now, you go backwards, and then you see all the events, what's going on, and you understand it enough to cut it. And you can move on, and it's an incredibly freeing class. But again, I honestly believe classes choose you, you don't choose the classes. So phase 5, I want you to make a list, okay? And I want you to make a list of all the things that you've been suddenly being popped into your head. Why this relationship, or could be, you know, a parent, or a traumatic time in your life, or not, maybe not, something funny in childhood, a school issue, bullying. Bring it up and write it down, okay? There is an exercise called a kicker exercise, and I will send it to you, and it is part of the book. It takes 3 hours minimum to get through, and it literally addresses you going backwards in your past, where you are asked to even address, put down people who have passed on that you've had issues with, and it cuts the ties. It gives you, and you actually see it through their eyes, what was going on. Why was it, that you might not like. That's the kicker. You might like, you seeing them, seeing what they see through you, you know, about you. But it's actually a good understanding of where certain relationships are and why you're maybe stuck in certain times that you're in. So the kicker exercise, always tell me, and then I can send it, and it's in there. Right, going forward now, I hate to say it, we're going through a shift of energy where we're seeing, as we talked about dimensions, it's really not 3 dimensions. What I do is what is coming in. And the other side is going to be far more, how can I say this? Far more, not only prevalent, but in our lives. You're going, who here has been feeling as if they're far more, they're seeing having more premonitions, or seeing having more, you know, intuitional insights? Anybody? You should be, yeah. So that's what's going on. It's actually shifting. The logics are the ones who, the extreme logics are the ones who think this is total woo-woo, and who in their lives have people who are always arguing with you, don't know what they're arguing about, but they're still arguing, and they just love having an argument, or, you know, and you're agreeing with them, like I do, and they're still arguing with you. Anybody? Yeah? Everybody. Okay, they're the logics. And good luck, because they're going to get worse. So what you have to do is to, I mean, what I do is just to agree, but sometimes that's not the best way, because then they'll get worse. But it's as if there is an exercise which I will put in the book, and hopefully I'll release it by August. I don't know, we'll see. I'm still putting together. But basically there's an exercise where it's part of the protection class that you insulate yourself, but you deflect anything. But it's also a good lesson. Why are they getting angry? Address it. Cut them off at their feet. Not literally, please, but really about why are you angry? Be in their face and ask them what. Confront them. And they don't like being confronted because then they have nothing to talk about, but they still will argue with you. And there's no logic, but I hate to say that's going to get worse. So anyway, we're going through a huge energy shift from the other side to this side, and it's far more complicated. There's a huge chapter on energy. And also, I hate to say it, in concert with that, we are going through a massive terraformer. And a terraformer means a change of the planets. And who here has noticed far more earthquakes than they've ever had put in? Go up to USGS, and that's what I usually get seen to, but most of those earthquakes unfortunately have been coming true, and we are intensifying in our earthquakes, but it's more up north and
Down by Chile.
yeah, Chile, but it's really the Ring of Fire, which we are part of, but it's going to be far more also. People said I was totally crazy when I predicted earthquakes in Australia. I mean, boy, the remarks I got on YouTube. But then, ever since last year, I've reported about 300, 400. Also in England, now that was totally off the wall, but they've been having earthquakes too. So the planet is on the move. And you did know that the big earthquake that happened in Japan just over a year ago did move a landmass about 13 feet towards us. So therefore, guess what? Every sizable earthquake moves the axis of the Earth. And that's why another contributory, it isn't the sole reason, but it's a contributory reason why we're experiencing different the patterns of weather patterns. There's lots more, but I'm going to leave that for the book. But basically in America, and I got slammed for this, who honestly believes that we are actually experiencing a better economy? And I'm not talking across the board and everything's beautiful as it was before, but who's seeing a tiny bit of a better economy? Good. And thank you for being brave enough to acknowledge it, because a lot of people who see the world half empty, and it's really not that way. It's what your belief system is what you draw. Everybody, nearly everybody in this room did that exercise, right, this morning when we first came in. Can you believe if you start getting negative, what you're going to draw to yourself? And one of the classes I teach is Face Your Fears. I know you don't want me to mention that, because Face Your Fears, she went through it, and some of the class, it's really a brutal class. But basically, it tells you that the more you try and control a situation, the less control you have over it. The more you fear something, the more fear you're going to co-create in your life. We are talking, and 98% of my classes, I try and bring physics in. And that is part of physics. It's more you kind of obsess about something. Oh gosh, I'm not having a job, and I can't get a job, or I've got a business, but I haven't got any money. Guess what? You're not going to have any money. You're not going to have a job, because you just co-created it. And I don't mean to say that you can be a Pollyanna in your life. It's not that way. But you have to, with a different kind of belief system, it's amazing what you can draw. And it's all to do with your own center and what you do. I've seen miracles that you have no belief. I can't even explain it myself, all right? There's a thing called a candle lesson, and I haven't got time to give everybody here your candle colors. Some of you do have them. But quite frankly, I've seen miracles with the candle lesson that I've never seen before in my life. And this is one incident even before it happened. But basically the candle lesson, and I'll do it quickly. Have I got time? Yeah, 15 minutes. Okay, candle lesson. Who prays in the evening or communicates to their guides in the evening? Sorry, yeah, in the evening, right? Which is great. But you bring an awesome power in, right? Correct? All right, which is fantastic. But then you put it in the pillow. All right, so what I'm saying is, why don't you go and get a candle? They're not into designer candles, it's okay. You don't need Yves Saint Laurent or anybody else. 99 cents will do. They don't carry that to the other side. So anyway, basically you light the candle and you ask, if you're not raised in England, you ask anything and everything. Don't feel bad. Anything you want, everything you want. Okay, so if it's money or love or whatever, but there are caveats to these rules. This is and again, I've got a few videos on the candle lesson if you need a repeat. So the first caveat, be careful what you ask for. This is really, really dangerous, because a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to ask for the knight in shining armor, and I said, okay, to one client, go and make a list, all the things that you'd love to have in your life. Okay, great. I knew, what type. And then she comes back to me about 6 months later, and I said, what are you back for? Well, I got him, so why are you back here? Oh, I can't stand him. So be careful what you ask for. All right? I'm not kidding. They will get you on certain things if it is in your destiny to have it, or it's a good thing. They protect you. Okay. So it's and then second caveat: if you don't ask, you don't get, and that is crucial. Again, if you don't ask, you don't get. And you know what? I can ask for you, but quite frankly, I'm kind of influencing, so I'm not allowed to. So I will, people say, oh, you better go and let's go and all pray for the people who just died in the hurricane or something. And I said, I can't do that. There's certain things that I can do and I will do, but there are, in other words, you wish them well and you help them on the other side. But, in pain or everything, it could be their destiny to go through because who here has noticed, on a sideline quickly, who here has noticed the most growth they've ever experienced is being in immediately after a challenge or a horrible incident in their life? Because I hate to say it, we like our little security square and we don't want to get off it unless we're shoved off it by a horrible event in our life. You understand? Then you start learning because you're forced to learn. And that's what they do. And in my book, it's called Squeezing the Head. Spirit loves squeezing your head. So I hate to say it, some people more than others. Okay, so we've got be careful what you ask for. If you don't ask, you don't get. Last one, in their time, not your time. Be careful of this one. Because if you're going to have, say, it's like dominoes. You touch one and it connects, like a little game. So if you suddenly say, I'm going to have a tantrum with a spirit, and worse, you're going to threaten them. I want it or else. Oh, this is the worst you can do. So, okay, you're going to have a tantrum, and you're going to say, okay, I want money now or else. Oh, that's nice. Okay, they're going to give it to you, something that's due on, say, 9 years down the road. They'll drop money in your hand, and it'll screw your life up. I'm not kidding. And I always bring the parody up of the lottery winners. How many of them are bankrupt, homeless, and murdered. Lost everything? Murdered or something horrible. Have really lost a lot. So, right? Because you weren't ready and prepared for it. So be patient. And, you think you're alone. There's one quick incident that a client came to me, referred from East Coast or something, and I said, by the way, and I'm sorry, I hope I don't upset the children, but, you tried to kill yourself with a gun 2 weeks ago. How in heaven's name did you know that? Nobody was there. And I said, you think so? How do you know if you don't know? If you think you're alone. You are not alone. You're never alone. And don't think, oh my God, I'm changing and they can see me. No, it's okay. What I'm talking about, they are there for the people who are depressed and lonely. I know there are other people. But basically, you're never alone and they are there for you. And then I said, oh, it went off later in that day, didn't it? Yes, it did. How do you know? You're never alone. Okay? I'm just telling you that if you don't ask, you don't get. Light the candle. And second rule, say thank you, please. You don't need to, but I'd like you to. Third rule is the light at the end of the candle. If it goes, and it goes as high as this, sometimes it has for me, they're in the room. They're trying to talk to you and communicate with you. They're usually pastor, they're members of your family who are your guides, your personal guides. And it's really all to do with that. So I know the next lecture is probably coming in. I don't want to hang her up. But thank you. If you want the links, just come and sign the book downstairs at my booth. I'll take it down. Thank you. I appreciate it.